Hello class 7 students, welcome back to the geography class. Today we are going to start chapter 8 of our book, which is Human Transport and Communication. Learning objectives: settlements, transportation, types of settlements, communication, urban-rural, independence. Let's warm up. Look at the following pictures and identify the different types of settlements. Application skills. Earlier, humans moved a lot in search of food. There was no staple supply of food and other facilities. They mostly depended on plants and animals. With the discovery of cropping and agriculture, it became necessary to stay in one place. This led to the settlement of the human communities, resulting in civilizations. Today, the term settlement means groups of houses or other residential buildings with people living in them. A town or city is a large settlement of these buildings. There are many factors on which a settlement depends. Some of them are stated as below: appropriate land, climatic conditions, agricultural soil, water availability. Answer the following questions. A. Describe the life of early humans. B. What led to the settlements of human communities? C. What are the factors on which a settlement depends? Answer these questions with the help of your parents and teachers. In the previous classes, you read about the relationship between human beings and the environment. The environment affects human life on a large scale. The human beings exploit the environment to fulfill their increasing needs. Thus, both the environment and human beings are interrelated. They affect each other on a large scale. Human beings form a significant part of the overall environment. It is believed that human life firstly appeared on the Earth's surface. Our ancestors perhaps evolved from another species of men which lived some million years ago during the Ice Age. These different human races adapted to the different environmental conditions. The extraordinary adaptability of humans to live and survive in difficult environments is the most remarkable aspect of human life. No other species of animals has grown so rapidly as the human beings. In the early period, human beings lived by hunting and food gathering. They went out in search of animals for hunting and fruit gathering. This wandering style of early people is often called the nomadic life. In this picture, you can see modern day nomads. They moved from place to place and from dawn to dusk. The people practicing nomadic life are called the nomads. The nomads lived in caves and other natural shelters. With the passage of time, men started to grow crops. The beginning of farming brought some kind of stability in the lifestyle of early people. Gradually, they started to live in the clusters of habitation. Settlements. Human settlements refers to the locations where people build their homes. Around these settlements, human communities develop. A community is a group of people living in a particular area and bounded by a common culture or religion. In this picture, you can see a human settlement. Depending on the nature of the environment and the needs of the people, settlements of different types are evolved. Number 1. Permanent settlements. Here people build houses to live in. Number 2. Temporary settlements. These are settlements made for a short time. People live at various places such as in forest, hot and cold deserts, mountains, etc. They practice hunting, gathering, shifting cultivation and transhumance. They build temporary houses for themselves. Types of settlements. Settlements can be classified as rural and urban. Rural settlements are found in villages where people indulge in primary activities such as agriculture, fishing, mining, or dairy farming. Urban settlements, on the other hand, are found in towns and cities where people are involved in secondary and tertiary activities. Number 1. Rural settlements. Rural settlements differ in size. Rural settlements may be dwelling for village around agricultural land, pastures, or mining regions. In this picture, you can see rural settlement. The need to form a village settlement arises from the occupational needs. Rural settlement patterns. There are 4 main types of rural settlements: isolated, dispersed, linear, and nucleated. Isolated settlements. These are mostly made of individual houses and farmhouses. This pattern is more visible in harsh climates or where the soil is uncultivable. For example, in deserts. Dispersed settlements. These are small clusters of dwellings which are spread out across the land. These are found in areas more suitable for living, such as a fertile plot of land. Nucleated settlements. These are dwellings or buildings grouped together in one place. For example, this could develop around a religious center or a transport hub. Linear settlement. These develop along a road or a river, a line of transportation or communication. In this picture, you can see different types of settlements. Dispersed settlement, isolated settlements, linear settlements, and nucleated settlements. Urban settlements. Urban settlements are much bigger in size as compared to rural settlements. They have compact structure and abundance of amenities like schools, hospitals, banks, etc. The urban pattern are classified as under. Number 1. Administrative cities. Major activities in such cities are usually with the administration of the region. For example, Washington DC and New Delhi are the capital cities and administrative hubs of their countries. In this picture, you can see the administrative city of Washington DC. Mining cities. These cities are found in large mining areas like Khetri in Rajasthan. Market cities. These cities are meeting point for exchange of goods and services. For example, Chicago in USA. In this image, you can see a market city of Chicago. Defense cities. These cities are centers of military activities and often used as house of army establishment. Jalandhar is a famous defense city of India. Cultural cities. The cities known for art, culture and education are cultural towns like Shantiniketan in West Bengal. Number 6. Ritual cities. These cities are the epicenter of religious activities like Haridwar and Varanasi in India. In this image, you can see Kashi Vishwanath Temple in Varanasi. Urban-rural interdependence. Urban-rural interdependence is very high. Rural areas supply raw materials for industries and manpower for industrial and commercial establishments in urban areas, which provide education, employment, and healthcare to the rural population. In this picture, you can see education in rural areas. Transportation. Our daily activities involve movement of goods and people from one place to another. In primitive societies, people walked or carried their own goods, while some used animals to pull carts which carried goods and people. Pathways and roads are built to facilitate movement of people and goods from one place to another. As development takes place, the network of roads expands and gets denser. There is use of more efficient modes of transportation such as buses, trucks, vans, cars, etc. With greater development in an area, the network of roadways, railways, and airways gets denser and more widespread. Roadways. Roadways are the most common and widespread means of transportation and are found in all habitations as they are most suited for traveling short distances. Roads are easy to construct in most places. They can also be built in steep landscape where it is difficult to construct railway lines. In this picture, you can see roadways. They are good for transportation of small groups of people and small quantities of goods. Roadways are important links between rural and urban areas and connect even the remotest areas to urban towns. In urban areas, roads are linked to railway stations, airports, and seaports. In India, the government has launched an important road development project called the Golden Quadrilateral Superhighway, which links Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, and Mumbai with a 6-lane superhighway. The primary road system in our country are called national highways, which link the extreme parts of our country. Roads that link the state capital to different district headquarters are called state highways. In this picture, you can see a national highway, whereas district roads are those that link district headquarters with other places in the district. In the loop, Japan's low maglev magnetic leviation train is fastest train in the world that can attain a speed of 602 km per hour or 374 miles per hour. Railways. The railways are a mode of land transport that carries passengers and bulky goods over distances. The world's first railway was opened between Stockholm and Darlington, North England in 1825. Since then, it has become one of the most popular modes of transportation. The railways are fairly fast, safe, cheap, and comfortable for the movement of people and materials. Today, steam engines have been largely replaced by diesel and electrical engines. The Indian Railway network is the second largest in Asia and the fourth largest in the world. It runs a fleet of approximately 11,700 trains every day, connecting nearly 7,080 stations. The network of railways is very dense in the plains as it is easy to lay tracks here. But in mountainous regions or in the deserts, the network is relatively poor as it is difficult to lay tracks in these places. Think smarter. No country can survive without international trade in the present global world. Do you agree with this? Passenger trains are a popular mode of transport in the UK, Japan and India. In India, a number of superfast trains have been introduced which have reduced travel time considerably, like the Rajdhani Express and the Shatabdi. The TGV of France is one of the fastest trains in the world. In this picture, you can see Rajdhani Express. The industrialized regions of the world like Western Europe, Russia, East Central USA, and the thickly populated industrial belts of India, Japan, and China have dense networks of railways. Railways which run across continents and link their two ends are called transcontinental railways. They are of great economic and political importance. Major transcontinental railways are the Trans-Siberian Railway, St. Petersburg to Vladivostok, the Trans-Canadian Railways, Halifax to Vancouver, the Union and Pacific Railway, New York to San Francisco, the Australian Transcontinental Railway, Perth to Sydney, the Orient Express, Paris to Istanbul. Fact file. Western Europe and East Central North America have the densest railway network. Waterways. Waterways are the oldest and also the cheapest means for transporting merchandise and goods from one country to another. International trade is carried on mainly through waterways. Water transport comprises two types, inland waterways and sea and ocean routes. The inland waterways include navigable rivers and lakes. It is dependent upon the depth and width of the waterways and the continuity of the water flow. In this picture, you can see a ship on the sea. The Great Lakes between the USA and Canada, the Ganga-Brahmaputra river system, the rivers Nile, Amazon and Mississippi are some of the important inland waterways. In this image, you can see harbor dockyard. Sea and oceanic routes are mainly used for international trade and are connected through ports. Some important seaports are Mumbai, Singapore, New York, London, Sydney, etc. The important ocean routes are North Atlantic route, which connect North America and Europe. The Mediterranean Sea, the Indian Ocean route connecting Europe with the East Africa, South Asia, Australia and Far East, and Cape of Good Hope route which links Western Europe and Western African countries. India has a long coastline and has 13 major seaports like Mumbai, Kandla, Kochi, Chennai, Vishakhapatnam and Kolkata. 95% of India's international trade is handled through these ports. Fact file. The English Channel Tunnel is the world's longest marine subway between Kent, England and the Normandy, France, covering 50 km. It crosses 39 km under 40 meter of the English Channel seabed. Airways. Air transport is one of the wonders of modern science and technology. Through air transport, we can cover long distances in short time. Air travel is divided in two sectors. First, international. It comprises flights connecting a country with another country. Number 2, domestic. It comprises flights connecting places within a country. Most of the Western countries have excellent air travel system as they have the technology and resources to modernize infrastructure through research and development. The USA has a very large number of airports, over 10,000 across the country. New York, London, Paris, and Tokyo are among the world's busiest airports. India has many modern airports catering to international and domestic air travel. Over the last few years, India has progressed substantially to match international standards. The A380 Airbus is the biggest passenger aircraft. It can carry around 500 passengers. In this image, you can see an A380 Airbus. Communication. Communication means the ability to talk, write, or interact with others. Through communication, we receive and send information. After the invention of the telegraph machine for sending messages in 1837, the postal system developed rapidly. The invention of the telephone revolutionized the communication system. Today, STD, subscriber trunk dialing facilities for calling within a country, and ISD, international subscriber dialing facilities for making calls to other countries, have brought people closer. In this image, you can see a telephone booth. Besides mobile phones and emails, using computers are extensively used for fast communication. The use of communication satellites have made it possible to have prior information on the weather and natural calamities such as cyclones and tsunamis. Mass media. Mass media includes newspapers, magazines, television, radio, etc. These are the means of communication that can be used to send information to a very large number of people at the same time. News channels give millions of viewers round the clock information on major events taking place anywhere on the earth. Value and life skills. Developments in technologies have brought the whole world closer. The world has become a global society where anyone can connect with everyone and can inform any particular place, object, or human being. The technology advancement have also brought some disadvantages to the human beings. Think about the pros and cons of the technology of today's world and how can we utilize it in the best possible way. Recapitulation. Human settlement refers to the location where people build their homes. People in rural areas are generally engaged in primary activities, while those in urban areas are engaged in secondary and tertiary activities. There is a high degree of interdependence between rural and urban areas. Roadways, railways, waterways, inland and marine, and airways are important means of transport. Communication refers to the exchange of ideas, thoughts, views, and messages. Thank you, class. Let's meet again in the next chapter.